Okay, hello. The empty spaces, but the place where is my presentation is really good because lots of words was connected in the subject that I wanna say. How local democracy changed over the last decade? Last decade because that's the time that I work with city governments. And I need to tell a little bit about myself because it will make clear why I feel kind of expert in this area. For about 10 years, I work with the city governments, especially in the north of Poland. And 7 years ago, by the occasion, it happened that I talked to our mayor in my city, in Gdańsk, and we feel connected in some way. We talk a little bit about social media, about media changing, about the processes which are connected with democracy, with the political debate, and we started to meet regularly. As a voluntary, I started to teach him how to use Facebook and Twitter, and it started to work. And 3.5 years ago, I started to work as a city official. First, I was advisor. After, I was head of mayor's office, and I ended it in the end of the year. And right now, I'm just returned to the business. And I want to say you what happened during this time, because it was time of really big changes in the city, and some of this maybe can be heard in our media, especially in Poland. That was my dream, to make something like this in my city. So when the mayor asked me for help, I didn't say that I want money or I want to work in City Hall. After a few years of cooperating, he asked me to take the position. But what I dreamed about was tear down the walls of City Hall. Of course, not physically, but I wanted to overcome the obstacles between citizens and city workers, between city government. And I think we are still in the progress. We have a lot of work to be done, but something significant was made, and we inspire a lot of cities, and that was the brightest side of this work, to see how it influenced other mayors and other cities to make things like we. What happened and what is happening still? Real conversation, requests, applications, discussion took place in the web space, and it's really rapidly, quickly going from the paperwork to the internet. From the 1st of January this year, all the City Hall right now is working only on electronic documents in Gdańsk. So I'm really proud to ending the work in the moment that it was introduced, because it costs a lot of work and a lot of efforts of lots of people. But can you imagine that every day our mayor got from 10 to 100 messages on Facebook, on his fan page, and what is more important, most of them he read, sometimes he answer, or he just relocated them to different people to make some answers or some work over it. And he's really deep in this discussion, which are on Twitter and Google+. And this is the one thing that I'm proud that I started to encourage him. Because, you know, the mayor he's 16 years on this post, so a long time. And when he started to be a city councillor, there was no internet in City Hall. There was no computers. So a few years ago, he started everything from beginning, and he's really good in it. It obviously affected the perception, the change of the perception. He really knows what the citizens talk to him because he read it. And he is going to discuss on Twitter. I know a lot of politicians which works on with social media channels, and usually they sometimes read, but usually they have some helpers. Of course, they need helpers, but it's really important that they are really deep in the conversation. For example, I can see that city councillors, they have duty hours every week in our city when they can talk or meet with citizens. And when I ask them if there is any meeting, physically meetings, they say that the only way that people ask them for any help or some intervention is Facebook Messenger, and there is no physically any citizens in their office. So it shows how our world is changing right now. We've changed all the way that we communicate. We stress on making YouTube films, plain articles on city website, infographic, of course. Maybe right now it sounds like it's obvious, but it wasn't 5 or 6 years ago in Polish city. Real conversation happening in the website. We started to build completely new quality. That's open leader. This is the one thing that you need if you wanna do something like this in a city. Our mayor was really open on all the innovation that they wanted to introduce. Not all, but mainly my idea was really welcomed, and that encouraged me to work harder. He appreciated all these changes, and what's more important, he liked this way of communication. When we were on workshops in City Lab in London, and I heard him talking to other mayors in this way, I really knew that it catch his attention, that it catch him to talk by the internet. We noticed that our citizens wanted to have some more data to talk with us, so we started the open data program with for example, Jakub Górnicki you have seen in the morning, and build spreadable stories, but not with a big budget, but just in cases that we can show outside. We invented some tools to make it happen, like civic budget, civic panel, first in Poland, organized by city government, civic participation processes, and interactive city budget of Gdańsk. Of course, I encourage you to see it in the web space. I feel that it was a moment of building stronger democracy. I really believe that Facebook and all of this stuff can help us to make it better. The more active and engaged citizens which can show something by internet, that it's something closer to liberal democracy definition. That's what we wanted to show, Gdańsk as freedom city with freedom data, freedom people, people who believe in solidarity, even with small s, with the culture of open code. But however, after years, after first ruptures, came submarine. Modern internet dominated by platforms, I feel not only shows the exhaustion of democracy, but I feel that our democracy is kind of, I don't know, kidnapped, hacked, And we saw a lot of cases in previous presentation which were talking about phenomena of fake news, trolling, hate. It was never bigger than today, I think. And I have never seen such low quality of public discussion in the net like today. Democratic debate for marketing. I think it's a real problem that with the tools that we have right now in the budget, we can suggest everybody what they should think or what they think that they think. Algorithms show us what we wanna see, not what we want to achieve or what we want to discuss. I know that time is coming, so I will skip a little. The problem is that our media, especially I think that in our Tri-City area, they lost their vocation to checking these fake stories. And we sacrifice a lot of resources and money and work of people in city government to constantly checking the stories, to be very quick in responding, because one fake story can make a storm for 3 days, which is after weekend, it's a crisis, a really crisis. Who does the word the city? People, government, or media? I'm afraid none of them, but you heard this story today. We still don't know where it goes, I think. And we will not know in next days, but I really want to see what will be the next with these processes, with these platforms and everything. People have the tools and they know how to use it. They know how to use it when they want to spread the story about Susan Boyles. So if they want, they can spread the story about the really serious problems. So I think I don't have any optimistic answer, but I have a hope. And I'm looking for some tools to convince people that it's worthwhile to spend time on it. And the most important currency is not likes on Facebook and sharing, but the time. Our time we spend or we sacrifice or we devoted to make local action, to cooperate with city officials, with NGOs, and even devoted to fact-checking, which was shown that we even have a lot of tools to it. So I encourage you to make the action, to spend the time on it, and give the commitment. Thank you.